Garth McMain's live here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, now joined by JJ Yeley here for WEUB. And JJ, probably not as much speed as you were looking for in the car this weekend. Qualified 38th, and I don't believe we're ever higher than, I think it was 40th in practice. So what do you got to do with the car heading into the race today, and where do you think it stands right now?
Well, those are a lot of good questions. You know, since we've been here, like you said, we actually did a Goodyear tire test here a couple months ago. Found a couple packages that we thought were really going to be beneficial for when we came back here. Obviously, NASCAR changing the aero platform really kind of disrupted our entire plan. We've been struggling trying to get back to where we were in that test. You know, the new drag and the new numbers were something that kind of dropped in our lap pretty late. Some of the larger teams had a little bit more time to prepare for it, so we've been behind, and our single car speed has not been very spectacular, unfortunately. You know, actually yesterday qualifying, the car handled very, very well, and still didn't have the speed that we needed to really to qualify and perform better. So we've made a couple small changes. You know, I think, you know, obviously with this new package, the plan was to try to make drafting a bigger part of what's happening. So based off of the experience I got yesterday in the Xfinity race, you know, once you get out to 2 and 3 wide, it really helps a lot with the straightaway speed. So that seems to be where we've been struggling. We've been losing a little bit more straightaway speed compared to some of the other teams. So that draft might be the great equalizer for today.
So you mentioned being a small team, those numbers for this new package kind of fell in your lap a little late. Talk about the struggles of being a small team and not having that information as quickly as some of the other teams.
I mean, it's tough, and you know, obviously with this new package, that's something that NASCAR is trying to instill to make the racing better, and also try to equalize the sport. Unfortunately, anytime they usually do that, it almost seems like a bigger separation, because again, the bigger teams have a lot more time to get prepared for it, and the smaller teams don't. So, you know, anytime they unveil a new package at the beginning of the year because there's a great unknown, that seems to be the easiest time for the smaller teams to be more competitive. But as the year goes on, and you know, the big budgets and that information gets out, and that technology that's available to them, they seem to really, you know, get better. And obviously that's kind of how it is in all of motorsports in the world. So no complaints here. I mean, I enjoy being here at BK Racing. We're working very hard to make our program better on a weekly basis. It's tough going against, you know, teams that have, you know, multi-million-dollar budgets when you don't. So we go out there today. You know, you can use strategy at this racetrack. Fuel mileage usually plays out. So we're going to play every card and every trick we have in our book to try to get a good finish.
Now, you ran the Xfinity race yesterday for JGO Racing, which you have been, I believe it's been for the entire season. So I know you guys as drivers talk a lot that the Xfinity race really most of the time doesn't make a difference in terms of, because the cars race so much different for the Cup side. But with the new package being brought this weekend, how much did racing the Xfinity race yesterday help out with you today?
I don't know that it'll help out a bunch today. I mean, I just enjoy being in a race car. So I mean, if I can be in a race car every day of the week, I probably would. You know, last night I even ran a sprint car race in Lincoln Park Speedway in Putnamville, Indiana last night. So you know, I just love driving a race car, and you know, the packages they're similar, but they're not the same. So the drag numbers aren't the same. Drafting played a huge part yesterday in the race. I think it made the restarts especially exciting. You know, and it's just tough to really produce great racing at this racetrack. It's very narrow. It doesn't have a lot of banking. You know, it doesn't matter if it's an Indy car that has a ton of downforce or a stock car that has very limited. It's just the shape of the racetrack and product of the racetrack that it's difficult to make really good side-by-side racing. So anything you can do to try to keep it packed together and make it exciting, where you're going to have a little give and take, and I think you'll see that today. But usually at the end, it's still the same guys up at the front, and I don't think it's any different today.
Now, lastly here, you coming from an open wheel background, you've raced here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway a lot. So talk about what it means to race here at a track like this that has such history as it does, and you even coming from an open wheel background, all the history on that side as well.
I mean, I love this place. I mean, you know, obviously I got to run the Indianapolis 500 in 1998 here. I started 13th and finished 9th. I spent a lot of time giving rides in the Indy racing experience in the 2-seater Indy car here. And, you know, I mean, I grew up as a kid watching my dad race midgets around the local area. I spent a lot of time in my career, you know, actually launching my career racing in dirt tracks and pavement tracks here in Indiana. So, you know, I mean, I lived here for a long time. I love this place. The fans are great. The people are great in Indiana and in the Indianapolis area. So, of all the cities we go to, I mean, this is a racing town. and they appreciate all kinds of racing. If it's NASCAR, IndyCar, MotoGP, I mean, they come out to watch racing. So, anytime, obviously we're in the entertainment business, and to come out here and put on a good show for the people that enjoy us and support us is always great. So this is obviously one of the races I look forward to. It's one of the pinnacles in our sport.
All right. Well, thank you, JJ, and good luck later today in the race.
All right. Thank you very much.